Hello, and welcome to Touhou World Cup, unfinished dream of all living ghost survival. Today I am here joined with Crested and Golden. You guys want to say hi?
Hi.
Hello.
And today our match is going to be very interesting. We will have lots of, would you say chaos? I'd say it's probably going to be a little bit chaotic towards the end of each run.
Definitely. UDoALG is a versus shmup, for those of you who might not be familiar with the series too much. We just had a POFB match earlier, which was a versus shmup. UDoALG is very much in the same vein. Instead of having 9 stages, we have just 6. And stage 6 is going to be what you want to look out for, but more on that later.
Yeah, and I won't spoil the fun too much, but you may need your glasses to see what's going on screen depending on how crazy things get.
Oh boy. The bitrate will hopefully keep up just fine.
Oh yeah, totally.
Well, I guess we can go to the slides.
Yep. To a World Cup. I mean, go ahead if you want.
Well, it doesn't matter. You can go.
Yeah. Alright, Touhou World Cup is an annual international tournament featuring the Touhou Project shoot 'em ups. Each match features contestants competing in the survival or scoring category on Lunatic or extra difficulty. Extra only has scoring. For more details about the tournament, visit the official website touhouworldcup.com. Shoutouts to Maribel, who just upgraded the website on servers yesterday and briefly blanked it out, but we're fine now. All the information you need is there. And for this category, the players have 60 minutes to perform their best run, the shortest timer available for all categories. Players can finish any run that they start within the reset time period. TLC score is halved for each miss. Runs with more than 4 miss don't count, because UDoALG is a 5 lives game. Once you reach 0 lives, you game over. Bombs are not allowed. Any bombs that they use are counted as 2 misses. And the player with the highest TLC score wins. So, something unique about UDoALG is that the way the stage works is not the same as with POFB, where you just have to survive for a set amount of time and then the CPU would start basically running itself into bullets and dying. Well, the CPU is very much not going to do that, so you need to be able to beat the boss somehow. If you've played UDoALG, you may have noticed that sometimes the boss just explodes after you beat a certain boss pattern, and that's because there is a set of hidden progression markers in each stage, and you can find more details in the link that is being shown on screen. But basically, you can control the progression of a boss fight. There is a hidden meter that goes up significantly whenever you use a C3 or C4, or when you chain. And by doing that and filling the gauge, you force the CPU to send a preset attack, which will usually be a C3 or a C4, and the C4 are the boss attacks. When you beat the final boss attack that it's preset to send, then you beat the you beat the boss entirely and move on to the next stage. So it's very important to control how fast these are triggered, because if you don't do that, then
All
might
the bad
see
things
that.
happen.
Yes, so let's take a look at the points for each shot. So Rainbow and Chiari are still 0. Realistically, the only shots the players are going to use are going to be those at 40 points or higher. So Marissa, Zamu, or Zamu with a bonus, or Hisami. So Golden, do you want to elaborate on what that bonus might actually be?
Yeah, so one of the things that there's 2 ways that you can basically kill or beat Zanmu with or beat Reimu as the final boss when you're playing as Zanmu. You can either beat her with a bunch of C3 spam, or if you actually survive for the entire fight and cap the final spell, then you actually get a bonus. The problem is we'll see very shortly. Like I said, I'm not gonna spoil the fun too much, but the final boss for Zamu's route is very, very difficult and very, very, as like the previous slide showed, can get very, very dense and stuff like that. So if the players can get to the very end, then they'll get a bonus for Zamu's route.
Now, the reason why we give a bonus for that specifically is because Zamu can, in fact, kill the CPU by forcing it to take hits before we reach the final pattern. In the previous version of UDoALG, which you saw last year on this show, there were quite a few strats involved with that, and MSM, for instance, would go for that with Rin to try to kill Zamu before she got to her final pattern. But a lot of those strategies basically got patched out, so we only see that really happening with Zamu nowadays. So yeah, that's everything here. Let's move on. So, players-wise, Cake, go ahead.
Well, the first player on this is Team Maya, right? I believe
yes.
it was. Yes. Is KDshi. I believe that's how you say their name. They're expected to. They're expected to play Zamu. They have quite decent amount of good achievements in this game. As 10 LMBs and 1.10C with Sanai on, Nazarin, Seirin, Orin, Mabizal, Saki, Bitten, and Hisami. Well, excluding Hisami. I guess that's how it's written. They have Yachi Ellen in the previous patch, which is pretty good. And their personal best in the category is Zamu Ellen for this current patch.
Okay, second player is MegaTronen for Team Hatate, and they're expected to use Zamu. They might go on to Hisami. They are, well, basically they're one of the strongest UDoALG players, especially in PvP nowadays. They've won several tournaments, and they've been doing a daily Zamu LNN for some time. And then they've almost all-shotted all of the LNNs in the previous patch. In the current patch, they pretty much only have Zamu LNN, but they definitely have the potential to get the highest one, which is Hisami LNN. So we'll see how they do. Right, last one is Serus. They're also expecting to use Zamu, might also go into Hisami. They've got almost all-shot LNN in this version of the game, and they have LMBs in various other Touhou games. They also speedrun the photo games, and have scoring achievements as well. Yep, so this match is going to be, well, Tronen is fish and Serus is goat. KDshi is KDshi, I guess.
Yeah.
So we'll see how they do. But as you saw, all three of them are expecting to use Zamu. This is just kind of a result of how the difficulty has shaped up of the game after the update. So because UDoALG received a very major balance patch, which also fixed a lot of things here and there and changed a lot of character toolkits, some of the most difficult LNNs in the previous patch has become really a lot easier nowadays. So Rin and Mamizo in particular are now able to just directly kill the CPU by just spamming their C3s. Very consistently, I should even add, so that's one hell of a downgrade. And the biggest one is that Chiari became really easy to fight, so it's unlikely that you're going to see any route that has to fight Chiari in this match, unfortunately, but basically Chiari's fireballs became smaller when they spawn in. They cannot grow as big as they used to, so it's much easier to deal with everything that she does.
They also grow a little bit slower, if I remember correctly.
I believe so, yes. Alright, 2 players on Zamu. And Serus is just playing the game music. Banger remixes, by the way, if you haven't heard them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's a shame that some of the themes don't play in story mode. Alright, KDshi is a little ahead of the other streams, so they're gonna start and we see that they're jumping straight into the Zanmu story mode. Okay, Serus has also jumped into Zanmu, and same for Tronen. Now, just to clarify, they are all using a version of, well, they're using the official versions of THPrac. THPrac had, well, 32 has very kindly helped us with adding a slowdown percentage indicator at the bottom right corner because UDoALG doesn't have replays. So that will help us ascertain how much lag there has been. Zanmu is not a route that should lag too much, so this should be expected to stay on very low percentage. Alright, nothing much to go on in the early game, so let's talk about Zanmu's toolkit as a whole. Zanmu has a decently strong base shot, so you can just shoot the enemies and they'll deal pretty good damage. Her C1 basically adds a little bit of spread to it, but it's not the strongest, so you don't really need to use it too often. But the main thing is her C2. Her C2 converts all spirits, animal spirits, and fairies and enemies on screen into pure spirits, the yellow spirits. And in the previous version of the game, pretty buggy skill that could cause a lot of problems. Wow, dying to his army. It is a pretty difficult...
Starting with the reset.
It is a pretty difficult spell, so if chaos happens, then things go wrong quickly. But yes, because she's able to convert every kind of spirit into just the pure spirits and basically nullify their attack of any sort, she is very, very strong. The spirits, when they explode, deal explosion damage in this game, and the explosion damage is also very strong. So one of the more common strategies you see from the players is that when they try to advance the boss, when they want to kill a boss faster, they'll wait for the enemies to clump up on top of the boss, and then they'll use a C2, and then explode all of the pure spirits, and that will deal a lot of damage. But just the base shot alone is also pretty strong, so do whatever works.
In certain scenarios, the explosions from the spirits could actually just kill the boss immediately.
Absolutely. In the previous version of the game, in last year, if you watched Rin versus Zanmu, basically you were relying entirely on the explosion damage to kill the bosses quickly, and it was very consistent at doing that. Now Zanmu's C2 is so strong that it's in fact able to convert every single enhanced animal spirit that that her opponents can send her. So this includes all of Saki, Yuma, and Yachie. So that happens to be 3 of the stages, 3 of the bosses that she has to fight. So she basically gets a free matchup against all of them. Not fair.
And Tronen just blitzing through stage 2 as well, entering stage 3. Actually, Serus is also entering stage 3 as well.
Yeah,
they're pretty much in sync.
If you want to go fast, you can go really fast. Though it is a little reliant on getting good enemy formations for the C2s.
Though most of the time this category can be beaten in like 15 minutes, so it's a fairly short category in general.
There is a reason why we only give them 60 minutes. You can finish a run very, very quickly. Though that will change if they were to play his army. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Let's talk a little about what Zanmu is doing to the CPU side of things. Zanmu's attacks pretty much all revolve around these spears that you can see on the right half of some of the screens. These spears are awful. Oh god, what's happening on Serus' screen?
Yeah, that's...
There's a good example of the chaos that can ensure very quickly.
That is what happens. That's what happens if you don't control the progression. Go on.
I think what happened was They used a C1 instead of C2.
But, I mean, just mindlessly spamming C2 on the Yuma fight can also very easily lead to that happening when you bounce too many spirits back and forth and chain too much. Yes, we forgot to mention this. Using a C3 in this game will help you regain your shield. You have a shield, so getting hit is not the be-all end-all in this game, because it's only when you get hit without the shield active that you will actually take a miss. But recharging that C3 also isn't the easiest thing. It takes a while to charge up to that point, and there are some attacks in this game that are relentless. So you will be forced to dodge at least a little bit every time you need to regain your shield. Okay, Tronen gets through stage 3, and on to Yachi.
And you may also notice that after each stage, the player is getting a card. So after each stage, you can get one of 2 cards that each boss can give and stuff like that. And they all have various different effects. Like some can offer some extra damage, or some can even alter the way the spirits act and stuff like that. So the last card that Tronen got, I believe, is the weakened eagle card from Yuma. So the eagles that come on your side of the screen will be easier to kill.
Now, these cards that you can get in the Zambu story mode are not too relevant. Some characters are very dependent on what cards they receive to determine like what kind of strategies you can go for, what kind of short damage you have, but not so much here because Zambu's kit is already plenty powerful on its own. With that said, Yache is a boss fight that you can play very aggressive on, because these otters, these enhanced otters that spawn, will always spawn somewhere near the middle of the screen. And you can just relentlessly C2 without risking really anything. But even so, Tronen is playing a little safe here and is just going to shoot down the boss normally. Well, in part because the next spell, I believe, is going to be the enhanced version of Tortoiseshell Hell, which now fires aim bullets. Tortoiseshell is not very threatening if you don't have these aim bullets, but once you start adding them in, then you need to start being a little concerned about getting yourself walled, especially if there's a bunch of random bullets coming down everywhere. But yeah, very quickly taken down.
Yeah, MegaTronen using the formation to use explosion damage to defeat the boss.
And now Suika.
Suika is one of the few characters in this game that has something Zambu cannot convert. Suika sends over these EX attacks, which are these dolls that will mimic her movement. The CPU's movement is not very predictable or controllable, so you can pretty much just think of them as slightly random moving bullets. But these things cannot be converted by Zambu C2, which is a bit of a soft counter if she was actually difficult to fight. Using Suika's non-spell there, which kind of spawns bullets out around her and then slowly releases them. But at higher levels, the non-spell becomes a little more threatening as the bullets spawn out further, and they can stack in a very nasty way on top of all of the dolls. But the main problem with Suika is that her spell has only 600 health. This is like 4 times less than normal. So by timing a C1 or C2 well, you can pretty much just kill it instantly the moment the spell, the moment Suika becomes vulnerable, which makes her abysmal in PvP. And in story mode, she's also very easy to bully.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, sorry. She has 400 health in this version of the game. She got nerfed.
Even less. And there's that.
I think the only threatening part of Suika really is just her EX attack.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Even then,
If you
that's
do
not
get hit
too
during the
difficult.
non-spell and you're not able to shoot the boss, then recharging the C3 can actually get dangerous, but that's about it.
Alright, we're in
Alright, here comes. So, for those of you who've played Touhou 18, Unconnected Marketeers, one of the most infamous attacks that you may have seen is the one on stage 4. This one. That is Reimu C3. It only gets denser. You really don't want that to happen in the middle of the spell cards. But that's not something entirely within your control, so let's see how they fare. Okay, first spell. So Reimu's attacks are all based around bouncing bullets, bullets bouncing off of the side of the screen, and Yin Yang Orbs, which have rather ruthless hitboxes. Okay, got hit here. Oh, that's a bad enemy wave!
Yeah.
Okay, but the C1 managed to destroy all of them. Very nice.
Yeah, a lot of times it isn't even like the bullets or boss attacks sometimes. The Yin Yangs themselves can be very ruthless if they just crowd in on you and wall you.
Pretty much all of the waves, including green Yin Yangs, can pose a very, very big problem. So that's something to watch out for. But yes, that's the second boss down, so we're gonna see a chain of 3 consecutive C3s here. I hope you're good at dodging YYD. Oh, okay, got hit, but that's fine. Use those iframes to cancel out. Get up to a safe position. And this is the last one before the next boss attack. Which is just the spell. Not have a bonus right now for how many LNs you can get in a match. So if Tronen gets this Zamu LNN, then the only thing they can do really for the rest of the match will probably be to just play Sami. Yeah. Okay, here's a very difficult pattern. This is Reimu's penultimate spell, unique to the story mode. It is all Yin Yang orbs, but it's hard to read the trajectory of all these bullets. It's pretty tanky. And okay, good thing the boss
smoked
died.
it.
Alright, here's the final. This is very fast waves. Yeah, you just kinda have to dodge. The scope will help you visualize a path very easily, but also stack several waves together, which can be very nasty. The thing you really don't want to happen is for her to use a C3 on this pattern. Zamu thankfully has very high movement speed, so she's able to abuse iframe to move to safe positions. Zamu just died, wow. Oh no, sorry, not Zamu, Reimu just died.
Reimu.
This is looking alright so far.
Going pretty well so far.
Tronen is likely going to go for a timeout strategy because shooting this pattern down is only going to add to the chaos and make things worse. Now, of course, using your C3 to get your shield back will also force you to use a C1, so that itself can also contribute to the mess, but
and there it is.
LNN, one go.
With the bonus too.
First try.
Very nice. 40 points, no, 50. Right. Yeah,
With the bonus.
Yeah, that's what happens if you don't control the progression of the stage. Which I should say is very easy to do if you C2 mindlessly. The chaining in this game can progress the meter very, very quickly. Okay, well, we get to see Tronen try Hisami LNN for the next 45 minutes, so hang tight and watch the popcorn happen.
And the other two players are now both in Zamu.
Yeah, they're right behind him. So, okay, Serus has Suika's option, which will add a little bit of extra damage. So Serus could try to pursue a shoot-down strategy potentially, but honestly, it is also just safe to time it out. What is KDshi doing? Oh, they're charging a C3. They're not shooting, actually. I believe that they're trying to progress the meter without shooting the enemies and contributing chaos. Oh, wait, they're charging for a boss?
This is...
Interesting.
Yeah.
Are they going for a kill?
Or are
We'll
they
see.
just holding?
They just continue charge.
What are you doing? I mean... Oh, okay, there goes. Oh, they used the... Okay, so when you release a C3 or actually, when you use any attack, C2 and higher, you actually cancel bullets in a small radius around you. They just abuse that to cancel a wave of the Rainbow C3, to cancel some of the Yin Yang orbs. Actually, very, very smart strategy there. Okay, Serus is just progressing the fight pretty much normally.
Yeah.
Yep, going to trigger the boss now.
Second spell.
Okay, quickly shot down. Okay, KDshi is initiating a C2, and this is... Okay, get your shield back. Alright, Serus is on penultimate. No, he's blocking. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Oh,
Ah!
the
That's
worst
a bad
time
time
for
to get hit! That's
extra
a really
attack.
bad time to get hit! Oh my god, move up, move up, move up! Okay, you're good, you're good.
You need a shield.
Ah! Holy shit! Barely got it. Nice mic.
Again.
Ah!
Yin Yang's no.
Dash by Yin Yang. Add 1 to the count.
All it takes is one Reimu EX attack to just send everything tumbling down.
It's brutal. Optimally speaking, you kinda want to force Reimu to bomb right before her last 2 spells, because bombing in this game will also expend your entire gauge. So if you force Reimu to do that, then the CPU will not have any gauge to charge a C3 with, which is how they're just the only source of the C3s during the last 2 patterns, but not reliable. And yeah, 1 miss.
Yep.
Well,
Serus with the 1 miss.
good attempt. I mean, they really tried on the penultimate, but it's just not very reliable. Yeah, we'll see if they keep going for some then. I do expect them to. Okay, KDshi, meanwhile, taking the fight slowly, seems like. Are they on the
might be
triple
doing a
C3?
kill strat, maybe.
I believe so.
Maybe.
yes.
Oh
Yeah.
wow, Rainbow's already down 2 lives. That's pretty fast. But why would you? Ah!
Oh, the
Uh-oh.
walls. Oh, the
Oh,
walls.
oh,
Oh, no.
The enemy formation! Oh my god!
They
Right
also
into
had to deal
the
with the spirits that were about to come up right behind them as well. So that position just probably was not a good one.
No. Honestly, the enemies are half the threat in this game when you get hit. Obviously, you really can't do damage. You can't kill the enemies when you're charging, so getting hit, getting bodied by the enemies directly is a very, very big threat. Okay. Yeah, they're going for the kill strat. So this is the spell before the penultimate, so they're gonna need to get this last kill in if they want to avoid seeing the penultimate altogether. But as you can see, Zamu's C2 is really, really strong, and like if you're able to spam enough attacks on the CPU side, then you can wall them and they will be forced to take a hit. Like that! Nice!
Yep.
That's
Right, one miss.
Another one miss on the board. Yep, Serus is right back at it with Zanmu, and Tronen is going at it with Hisami. I guess we can talk about a little bit why Hisami is so high scoring and why her route is really, really difficult.
Yeah, so Hisami is basically the second last character that you play in story mode when in the normal character unlock progression. But she is a lot weaker than Zamu for various reasons. The first is that her base attack is just weak. It's also partially homing, and it likes to home into things that you really don't want to be shooting. So it becomes very difficult to shoot down bosses because of that. You can do it with enough effort, but timing down bosses also becomes like not uncommon occurrence. Second of which is her C1. Her C1 is basically homing as well. A stronger homing shot that doesn't sound too bad at first until you realize that her scope is massive. So you can see just how much of the screen she's covering with her scope, and scopes will activate any spirits that go into it, which reduces the amount of health that they have significantly, making them easier to kill. This sounds like a good thing, but is really bad when you want to control how much you're chaining. If you're releasing the scope with a C1, you're almost definitely killing all of the spirits within it, and that means that you are chaining all of those spirits, and that can send a very strong attack to the CPU for them to reflect back to you. And the last thing is that she fights Zamu. Zamu as a final boss is really, really bad. Zamu's final spell in particular, well, last two spells in particular, are very, very, very bad to fight. So if we see that fight, then we're gonna talk about it, but for now, just observe how much longer these early stages are taking on Hisami than it's taking for Zamu.
Oh. That was an unfortunate formation there.
And a reset. Yeah.
Everyone's basically just stuck in early game. So with every player is using TH Prac. Does that fix the Hisami issues?
Yes.
Yes,
if
that's
they've
what I figured.
enabled it. I am not sure if they have. There is a very potent new bug introduced in the update. Hisami C3, if you send enough of them over to the CPU side of the screen, will cause immense amounts of lag. We are talking well over 2% level of lag on the slowdown counter. So if they didn't enable it and we see that happen, then unfortunately we cannot recognize their run. But there is a fix that 32 has developed for it that is included in TH Prac. I believe if you go and grab the latest version of TH Prac right now, it might be broken and crash the game instead, but it's been fixed for the version that we've supplied the players.
Yeah, I only asked just because I noticed it wasn't happening on Bitten, and I knew it could happen on Bitten.
Yes. It can happen to any CPU pretty much, but yeah, the something Zun did just completely broke the way it's handled. From my understanding, from what Later told me, I think there was no code change there, but however he compiled the executable, it did not optimize the functions used by the CPU. And that's causing very, very much lag. Alright, Serus is back onto Yachie, so well-timed C2 there. Not shooting? Oh, getting the shield back, okay, fair. But that's gonna let all the spirits go. Yeah, usually these enhanced autos are going to be way more annoying. All the enhanced spirits that these animal matriarchs shoot out, they don't get very much reduced health when you scope them, and they can unscope themselves after some time, which makes them very annoying to deal with, especially the autos, which will linger on screen for a very long time and constantly fire bullets. So if too many of them are amassed, then it can be a very big problem for most shots, but not for Zamu.
And when Zamu uses her C2, they still have quite a lot of health relative to other spirits.
That is true. That's something new to this patch actually. The behavior of the C2 has changed almost entirely. Outwardly it looks the same, but the enemies pretty much retain whatever HP they had when you convert them, as opposed to the last patch where they would basically become really brittle. So we're not too sure why that's the case, but that's one of the reasons why Rin, for instance, is able to just overwhelm the new Zamu CPU, because when Zamu tries to convert Rin's spirits, then they're still going to be really tanky, instead of just being a free chain for Zamu to reflect back. Okay, that's a lot of dolls from Suika, but they're all on the left side of the screen.
Yeah. That was really lucky, just enemy formations. Well, EX attack formations, I should say.
Yeah. Okay, Hisami is fighting Enoko right now. Enoko is a shot that's very capable of chaining. If you don't take this fight slowly, and Hisami's just natural chaining potential, can cause this fight to snowball out of control. So even in the early game, this is like stage 3, I think, or stage 2, I can't remember.
3.
Like even in the early game, you have to play carefully with this shot. Oh boy. Yep.
There's 2 EX attacks and a boss attack.
And Hisami scoped all of it and is sending it all back, which is only going to get bombed by the AI again, CPU again, which is going to send all of that back again. And the thing about doing this is that this causes the CPU to chain enough to send boss attacks, automatic C4s from chaining. But doing that doesn't count towards the progression. So if you combo too hard, you end up just stalling the stage for much longer than necessary.
Serus is in the rain right now.
Ooh.
Alright, let's see how
Serus you really don't want that with Enoko. But yeah.
Yeah. Well, Enoko is one of the few characters whose frenzy, basically, you can actually handle. Because no matter... never mind.
Well.
Not my fault. But no matter how much Enoko sends back, her EX attacks are not actually very threatening, because they are aimed kind of slightly higher than where you are. So if you're high on screen, you can kind of just misdirect them all to the top half and then move down. But then MegaTronen just died to the non, so eh. Alright, Reimu's spell here, taken down. Then just the non-spell. Yeah, part of how fast you can take down the bosses is also dependent on what enemy formation spawn. If you don't get enemies that kind of just block the shot for Zamu, then the boss will die very quickly. Okay, yeah, true. Serus here is very carefully controlling the progression to make sure that these waves of big and yang ults don't stack. Nice use of the scope, wow.
Yeah.
Right, just chain very carefully here, progress to the next phase. There should be one more C3, yeah. Oh god, these dodges! Ah, that's a wall. Alright, that's fine. Onto the boss now, so this is just a spell. Oh, that's a lot of just random spirits on oh no.
Yes.
Oh, and there's a C3.
Right, he was trying to use the scope to oh no, that's a wall. Okay, okay. It's fine, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine.
Just give your
Are you
shield
gonna
back.
just try to shoot it down? No, 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 get a shoot back, yeah. Rainbow bombed. Not
This
much
one.
on screen,
Okay,
thankfully,
they recovered.
so Rainbow's bomb didn't do much.
That was good.
Okay.
A little
That
sticky,
was
but
almost
came back
really
around.
bad. Yeah.
But even though Rainbow bombed, the CPU is able to get the gauge back in fairly quick order, so the bomb is only really like a temporary release. Huh? Why did the bomb? Okay, sure. Well, the CPU has one bomb left, I guess. Here's the penultimate. Nicely timed bomb from Reimu, so there shouldn't be too much threat of C3 happening now. Just shoot it down. Okay, good use of scope. You can't shoot during the scope, so you don't want to do it too often, but you can use it to slow down bullets to give yourself a little more time to dodge, and then unscope to continue shooting. But
Getting hit twice.
it's getting a little out of hand. Yeah, this tends to happen the moment you get hit. You just the bullets start stacking, the waves start stacking, and you're forced to continually use the C3 in a shield loop.
It's looking better now, yeah.
But nice. Okay.
Ooh.
But what about the final? Reimu's at full gauge.
Not looking like Rain's gonna bomb at all either.
I think Serus wants to wait for Reimu to use the C3 first. But no, there's not enough
Reimu
time.
said no.
The progression meter to the last attack is very short, so you really don't have much time to wait it out. Since it does advance just naturally over time. Ah! Alright, well, we're going for timeout. Now, thankfully, Zamu, again, very fast movement speed. You can really just move to a safe position every time you get hit, but barring enemy formations and a C3 and random nonsense happening.
Oh, I'm using the scope to slow down and make more lanes. Interesting.
Yeah, the scope is really powerful if you use it correctly. Oh god, that's an enemy formation, alright.
Yes, it's...
Okay, shot it
Those
down.
darn green yin yangs.
I wish there wasn't much for Raven to send over with that bomb,
Yeah.
but it's still
Yeah.
not very good.
Good dodges. Very good dodges. This way. Oh no, that didn't.
Yeah, that's...
Okay, okay. at the very least, because of how many bullets there are on this, you can ensure that you have enough gauge at all times to get your shield back.
5 seconds.
That doesn't make it any less dangerous. Alright, almost there.
Yeah,
Just
I
dodge.
got it.
Nice!
There we go.
Alright, well done. Well done. Alright, Serus moves on to Hisami jail.
That's the same thing as Zombie Jail.
Let's see if KDshi is able to apply their kill strat, because they're at this point they're not going to they're gonna come last even if they manage to do the kill strat. But it would be very interesting to see how well they develop this strategy, because I think a lot of players have pretty much dismissed the kill strat as being too inconsistent, and it is understandable, because you are relying on the CPU getting hit by random stuff, which already isn't the most consistent, but also actively attacking the CPU so much causes you to also have to deal with a lot more stuff. So what was that? Okay. So part of the kill strat would involve you having to level up your attacks on the CPU side at the beginning of the round, which is why
Yeah, I was about
which
to
is
say
why you
that.
want to use C4 and C3 early, because each time you use your C4 and C3, you level the attack up by 1 level. The higher the level, the denser the attack is, the more chance you have to wall the CPU. So that would be the reasoning behind that. C4 isn't necessary for the kill strat, yes, but I do believe that Zanmu's non-spell and spell do have a small chance of walling the CPU in addition to the toothpicks and the EX attacks. So it's just something that's nice to have leveled.
How likely do you think we'll see a Sami clear at all?
I don't think so. Since they're just resetting it when they get 1 miss, it's like... So, the early game is really, like, awful to get. I honestly think that Hisami might have been worth more points than it is now, but...
Should have been like 1,000.
Players agree. Genuinely, for those of you who are interested in like doing high-level survival in this game, I would suggest trying Hisami out yourself. There are so many pain points that you don't realize until you experience them firsthand.
Don't get beamed on Anoka this time, please.
Yeah. If I don't know what Tronen was really doing, chaining that hard on the Enoko fight. It's fun. It's definitely very fun to play PvP in single player. But it's very bad for survival, so please don't do that again. For PvP, Chiari is still really strong. She got nerfed, but she still has absolutely the ability to wall if you use her kit correctly. It's just that the CPU is not going to do that correctly. So if you're fighting Chiari CPU, then the homing spirits become much less of a problem. But against a real player, they're going to spam that C2 against you and keep them alive, and then you're going to get walled. So she's still usable, just not as good as she used to be.
It felt like when I played PvP with Chiari, it was like more of a higher skill, like needed to properly use her.
Yes, you definitely need a fuller gauge to start, and then you need to definitely not get hit, because getting hit will cause you to not be able to spam that C2 as much as you need to. Ah, Terrace got hit. Well, I think we'll see them finish their Hisami runs when we get the final run, so maybe we'll get to see the rest of the game there. And Hisami does fight Chiari, so we're going to see that if we get to that point, which is stage 4.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that's already quite different.
That's
Okay,
right
nice!
here. Yeah, that's
There we
right
go.
here.
Yeah, Tronen actually used a C2 to shoot down the boss, very nicely abusing the homing to make sure that like the boss was the closest target, and then circling around her to avoid dodging anything. Alright, here's Chiari. So, compared to the last version, you can see that first of all, these fireballs now have a spawn-in animation. They take a while, they just expand on where they're gonna spawn, which makes them a lot easier to predict where they're going to come from. And secondly, you can see just how much smaller they are compared to the last version. They disappear way faster even if you're scoping, and because of that, Chiari becomes much less of a problem. Yeah, Tronen abusing the C2 again. If you are able to land the C2 on the boss, it can actually kill the boss very quickly. It's just that usually there's other stuff on the screen for it to hold on to.
Chiari did start this fight off like really aggressively.
Yeah. You do still want to play carefully against Chiari because she can still wall you if she randomly decides to C2 at a very bad time, but it's much less of a headache than it was in the previous version, where it honestly felt a bit like praying that Chiari just doesn't do anything to you, which she will do.
Oh no.
So yeah, this low level spell isn't really too much of a threat, but later on we're gonna see a higher level spell attack, which is much denser and poses a much bigger problem when you have all of those fireballs circling around you. Okay, slowly stream this nonce.
Oh no.
That's
Yeah,
the
this-
walling potential still there. I mean, Chiari's non itself is just streaming, so you're able to get your gauge back very easily. Not too much of an issue here, but you really want the fight to calm down before you get to the spell, because that is where the trouble really starts. Alright, C3 used, but this should be fine. Just let everything despawn, yeah. Okay. And yeah, way more fireballs now, way denser. You have basically only the bottom part of the screen to work with, unless you do like a micro up to the top half. So this is where you just kinda want the pacifist and hope that Chiari doesn't send a C3. Oh! Okay.
It was very close. Hey, you really don't want to get hit when all those fireballs are that low.
I think George is playing the wrong theme on World 3 on the
Yeah.
English stream. Oops. That's not Chiari's theme. It's okay, just keep it on because we're on to
Because,
Suika
yeah,
now.
it's about to be, yeah.
Worked out anyway.
Yes, Hisami Allen in this version is much more difficult than it is in version 1.00a. Because even though the Chiari... Okay, so in the old version, Chiari was still a problem, but Hisami's scope would give her a very big advantage over Chiari, compared to some of the other shots dealing with Chiari. So that was a problem, but not as much. But the main problem is that Zamu is just way more brutal than it was last patch. Because we just talked about how Zamu C2 got changed like a lot between versions. One of those changes is that the enemies that the pure spirits that she converts the enemies into now function correctly, properly as actual spirits. Killing a spirit will send a bigger attack than killing a regular enemy. So if Zamu C2s a bunch of regular enemies and then sends all those attacks at you, they're going to be way more brutal, way more likely to have an automatic C3, and way more wall potential. So the final, in theory, got nerfed. Because the final is... the bullets on the final are slower now, but every other part of the fight has gotten more random and more wally, so pick your poison. Bad enemy formation, but it's fine. If you let Suika's spell last for too long, then something bad could happen, but nah. The health on it is just too low. Okay, yeah, so Hisami... remember those dolls that you can't convert to Zamu? They're a little tanky, so good luck shooting them out of Hisami. And yeah, this non is a lot denser than the lower level one, so it can stack up quite badly if you're scoping. Alright, that's a lot of stuff on screen. Okay, but the explosion damage kills it anyway, along with the C2. Oh.
And it's gone.
There was also a zombie jump scare.
Serus is on Chiari, but here's the Zamu fight. So just pay attention to when Zamu uses a C2, because things escalate quickly. Well, first of all, Zamu's boss as a whole is not too bad, but the nature of the patterns makes it so that if your movement area gets restricted by any means, say these toothpicks, then they get much worse.
Oh, no.
Huh? Oh. What was that? Oh. We didn't even get to see the...
It was literally just the first spell.
Wow.
That was unfortunate time to get hit and then run into a yin-yang wall.
Oh.
Back to Hisami, I guess.
Back to early game.
Yeah. I do hope KDshi can get another run to Zamu as well. Sorry, to Reimu. Zamu's early game is easier than usual, but her C2 working the way it does make it so that it's easy to just get out of control, so you can't exactly slack in the early game either.
Well, what's interesting here is, like, isn't Hisami 1-miss 50 points?
Yes.
So even, they're just forced element, so...
Yeah, they're forced element.
Yeah.
Which is why I was thinking if maybe we should have buffed Hisami above 100, but... well, that's for next year. It is just a much worse shot to element with.
Or probably nerfs the amount of points that the others get.
The rest get.
Yeah.
We'll need to do something, because it is not very conceivable to see either of these players get the Hisami element now. It'd be nice, it'd be great if we saw it live, but as far as I'm aware, I don't think there's been a single Hisami element yet.
Unless like MegaTronen or someone's just been hiding it.
Maybe, but I mean, okay, the chat is currently discussing PvP, roughly. There's a big difference between story mode and PvP, because PvP is very much about what can you do to your opponent, right? Like, what are your attacks like, how much potential do you have to kill them, what are your defensive tools like, and some characters just have everything, like Reimu, and they're broken as hell, and very often banned. Zamu, Reimu, Yuma, stuff like that are absolutely broken in PvP. But in story mode, it's not so much about what you can do to the CPU, because the CPU will dodge everything. It's more about what you can do to defend yourself. And characters that don't have much of a defensive kit, like Marissa, are just much worse nowadays. On is actually a relatively easy LNN, because her C2 gives her a lot of iframes. And her final boss is Yachi, who is a lot easier to deal with than the rest. Other than Saki, who is Seiran's final boss.
But
so there's a combination of factors that goes into like what makes a shot strong in story mode or very bad in story mode, as opposed to PvP.
I was just reminded that the Yachi fight was actually changed a little bit in this patch as well.
Yes.
I believe it was a different final spell.
Was Dragon Crest Bullet changed?
I believe it was.
I don't remember for Yachi.
Completely misremembering that.
I know that some of the other matriarchs got Yuma's final got changed. Well, more a bug fix than a change really. The function for spawning bullets at a distance from the boss wasn't working, so some of the patterns just looked way simpler than they should have been.
It wasn't changed?
The Yachi's final wasn't changed, no.
My bad.
Okay, Hisami against Suikan. Missed a chance to shoot. Okay, that's fine. Just wait. Okay, and then just try not to let the fight snowball out of control, and we're gonna see another Zamu fight. Yeah, the reset time is only 60 minutes in this category, because, well, the runtime of the game is quite short. But when you're playing Hisami, things are very slow in the early game, so it's gonna take longer. Okay, Serus sends a C3, initiates the final boss.
Ooh, that was basically just a wall.
Yeah. Didn't get to do any damage, and Suika's really low on screen now. Oh god! Move out, move out!
No.
Oh.
Suika is not... If you miss your chance to shoot Suika down quickly, that can happen. Unfortunately. And Hisami doesn't have a very good way of dealing with it either. I mean, part of it's also Hisami's movement speed. It's way slower than Zamu, so when you get hit, you're not able to cover as much ground with the iframes. So you can't really buy yourself as much space as you might like.
Zamu's the second fastest character in the game. I believe.
Yes.
Just second to Bitten.
Yeah, part of it is that the new patch for survival is not really a very popular category right now. We did not have a lot of time or people really trying the category out and just seeing how bad things are, but Hisami is also just a bit of a consistency thing. I think these players have really gotten skilled enough with Zamu. In part because Zamu is a very strong PvP character, and also that like the way to get better at Zamu's story mode against Reimu in particular is not dissimilar to just getting better in survival in general, which these players are very good at. But Hisami requires a lot of additional thought on top of that. And yeah, because the new patch is not very popular for survival, we haven't even seen it being tracked on Maribel's website yet. Which is if you're inspired by this match to go and try some of these out yourself, and some of the lower scoring elements, according to our TCC score, are a lot more feasible for people who are unfamiliar with UDoALG's mechanics to get. But like, if you're interested in trying and there's enough interest, then we can definitely start to discuss as a community on how we go about doing that. But for now, well,
more enjoyable than Hisami element.
Yeah. Alright, KDshi is on Suika now. Let's see how fast he can kill it. Not this way, that's fine. One of the things you need to do against Suika's spell is that even though she's in mist form, the scope does slow down her movement. So if she's already like more than halfway down the screen, you need to really make sure that you're scoping her the entire time to make sure that she doesn't just ram into you. But yeah, there we go. Don't pause.
Don't really have the time for that.
No, you have
I
plenty
hope
of
you.
time.
Oh god, please go. Okay, here we go.
Oh, they're probably gonna go for the same strategy again too, aren't they?
Yeah, it's gonna take a while. Up! Don't get hit that fast, please. Don't get rammed by the enemy. One of the things in UDoALG is that it's surprisingly common to just get hit on a section where nothing is happening. I can't explain why it happens, but I'm sure both of you can attest to it as well.
The amount of times that I just in general have said, what the heck has hit me? If I had a nickel for every time, boy oh boy, I'd be a millionaire by now.
But yeah, they're playing very smart still. They're using the cancels from using a C4 to cancel out one wave of the Yin Yang orbs, and then retreating back down. And it's all very nice, but this is going to run the reset time dry. So I sure hope that this is a good attempt for them. Alright, they're going straight into the boss fight without a shield. With the C3 up. Thankfully the non-spell is very tame.
Yeah.
But enemy formation, okay good. C1 took care of that.
That was a crazy dash.
So now they're just going to want to use as many C3s as they can manage, because during the boss fight you do not progress the stage progression meter. So no matter how many C3s or 4s you send, you can just level them up without consequences. So this is when you want to get your attacks leveled up as much as possible, so that they are more effective against the CPU later in the match. Remove bomb.
And that's the reset timer.
Yep, no more resets for KDshi. Alright, I think they are close to max level. Yeah, so at this point they just need to C2 repeatedly and send as much aggression to Zamu as possible. Which will put a lot of... okay. 1 down, 4 to go. Reimu is out of bombs, admittedly, so Reimu is much more likely to get hit just out of nowhere now. Like that, like exactly. Alright, not bad.
Ooh.
This is pretty good pace.
Weaving through those yin yangs, if Reimu sends like 2 C3s over, is just extremely stressful, especially at a time like this.
Yes.
It's okay.
Okay, yeah, I didn't move bottom left or could have run into the spirit there, but... okay. This will be the last spell boss fight before we get to penultimate. Ah, C3.
This is not okay.
Oh god.
Oh, nice! Good use of the cancel, but you're gonna
They
need to get your
still
shield
have a
back.
shield, yeah.
Not enough gauge for the shield. Dodge, micro. Okay, good. Oh my god,
Nice job.
that got close. But that's not applying aggression, so what are you gonna do now? AC3. Sending another C3. Okay. But these are not walling the CPU. Here's the penultimate. That's a good C2 wave. If you can shoot it.
They got it.
Okay, good. CPU got walled. Okay, got hit once. Better hit it again before it recharges the shield, but oh god. Yin Yang's everywhere. Okay, Reimu died. Not enough gauge for a C3, but it's okay. C2 here. C3. Ah, not enough gauge. Alright, that's enough. Cancel. No. Oh god! Oh my god, nice dash! Nice dash, wow!
No!
Unfortunate, wow.
It's just going downhill.
That's just...
This is the inconsistency of the kill strat. All of the kill strats against CPUs have certain levels of inconsistency to it, but I mean, against Reimu in particular, I suppose it is very bad because of just how bad her C3 is. Alright, let's see if they can spin. Oh, well, so there we go.
Serus is on Suika.
Yes.
Or no in pace.
Well, GG KDshi. They really tried their best. I wasn't aware of this player playing UDoALG until they signed up for this category, but honestly, they did very well. The kill strats will definitely need more refining. I mean, this whole game on the new patch will need more refining. But they've put on a very good showing.
Yeah, definitely.
Alright, let's see what the other two players can do. Because they are LNN phase into late game. Well, I don't know if you can really consider anything before Samu late game, to be completely frank, but...
Serus also has, like, every damage card. You can see Reimu's homing Amulet,
Oh, yeah.
Inoko's traps there.
What's C3?
I guess that would make a
Yeah, even Chiari's
difference for
needles,
Hisami.
which are really strong.
Yeah. Every little bit
this
goes a
is-
long way, especially for Hisami's damage.
Yeah, Serus actually has pretty good damage of Hisami now thanks to all of these cards, but it's going to be enough to help kill off a bunch of these dolls. But like if Suika sends over like a billion of them, it's not going to do anything still.
Yeah. I actually want to add something
Alright,
to
they're
what you said
shooting.
earlier about getting hit when like nothing's on screen and stuff like that. I feel like something that's a bit underrated that can just hit players sometimes too is a lingering wolf bullet, because like the when the wolves spawn their bullets, they'll kind of like sit there for a second and then aim right back at you. So if you scoped a wolf and it spawned a bullet behind you, like that red bullet that red arrowhead that just kind of went up on screen on Serus' side, it'll probably hit you too, and that kind of throws people off sometimes. I feel a little bit underrated. I feel.
The wolf spirits in general can be really annoying to deal with because of how they aim. So if they're in a bad position or you just don't see a bullet, then it can just come out of nowhere and snipe you. It's so bad that I think a lot of people will consider those bullets to be...
It's
what
a
are you doing?
manual C4.
I think a lot of people will consider those bullets to be worse than the enhanced version that Saki sends.
I can believe it.
Can't damage, but that's fine, just survive. Oh no, that's a bad time to get hit. C3, maybe you can time the C1 along. No, it went somewhere else. Uh-oh. Don't get walled. Never mind. Got walled anyway.
It's okay.
It's fine.
Shield back.
But there's too many wolves around.
There's too many Suikas around too.
Just survive, just survive, just survive, just survive. Just survive. Oh my god.
There we go. Okay.
But we're not done yet. That's the last Suika boss now, and having to recharge a shield right away is not nice. Especially when there's this many dolls. Okay, okay. We're good, we're good. We're not good, we're not
The
good.
walls.
This non-spell gets really bad if you scope it and it just starts stacking up, so... Uh-oh. Better pray the CPU doesn't move to the right. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Honestly, just
Oh,
being stuck on
no,
the
she
right
just
wall like this
Move
is...
to the right. But she's fine.
There's still so much stuff happening on screen. Like, this is exactly what we talked about when, like, the fight gets out of control, because you're just uncontrollably scoping stuff, uncontrollably killing enemies, uncontrollably chaining.
And you can't really bring it back down either. Like, you could stop shooting for a bit, but...
Yeah, you need to
just kinda
basically
gets-
hold your gauge, like hope they'll scope out, and then just not do anything for a while, but... It's difficult to do that, especially when you get a bad enemy formation and you have to just try to dodge them physically without being able to kill the enemies. But nice! Alright!
Oh, and
That
then
was a very
Kazumi.
rough Suika fight.
Tense.
No, MegaTronen is
Let's
on
see.
Suika now.
Let's see what Serus can do. Alright, meanwhile Tronen is also on Suika.
And we got the Suika damage card too. We have all the damage.
You really have
Possible.
all the options.
You can do it, Serus. You have like, it's like everyone's kind of helping along, right? So
The thing is that I don't know if you really want to shoot Zanwu down. Well, I suppose it's better than just waiting and seeing Zamu C2 you to death, but... Well, I suppose the other cards that you could get on this route are not particularly useful anyway, so...
These are definitely just the best you could get. Best you can ask for.
Like, maybe Reimu's hitbox card, if it works. I'm not sure if it works.
Yeah, the jury's still out on that one, if that actually does make a difference.
Shot that down. Oh no, and this is the C2. Oh god. And yeah, you just need to wait before you send this C3 off because you don't want to kill too many spirits, so... Ah, Zamu C2 again.
One of the other nasty
and
things
the chain,
about
And that's
just the
Zamu
bonus
C3
boss.
is that it's not just vertical spears. They come at a diagonal too, so they can just snipe you from the side.
The diagonals come from just the regular spirits being killed, but like because Zamu's killing so many spirits to trigger the C3 anyway, then like they're going to be in them with the mix. Ah, Tronen got hit. Oh god.
Oh no.
Oh, there goes that. Bad C3 RNG. Oh, better get your charge out. Oh no, move up. Okay, good.
Yeah, this is...
not enough gauge, but that's fine. The non is easy to dodge.
And does give quite a bit of gauge too.
Yeah, that's pretty much the only saving grace of the Zamu fight. It would still be really impressive if Tronen was able to LNN the Zamu fight. Let's see how they do from here. Ah, that's another bonus boss though. So Serus is basically just stuck in the stage progression right now because Zamu C2 is sending so many extra bosses that basically just stall the progression completely. So even though it looks like Serus is really surviving well, they're actually just not really doing anything to get to the win. Oh my god!
And
Just oh,
They lived.
it isn't even good
That
to
was a
try
cap.
to attempt to even kill the AI. Or CPU.
What the fuck?
what?
No! No!
No!
Yeah, things are getting bad. And the really fucked up thing is that there are a billion lasers and billion bullets on Zamu's side of the screen and she's just not getting hit. So it is not an equivalent exchange at all. This is not... The CPU can get walled like that. It's lagging the game now, wow. I guess Serus is just going for kill strat now, sure. Basically, the CPU's way of dodging in this game, and similarly in PoFE, is that it can only really look at bullets that are immediately around it, and then try to dodge those. Because of that, the quirks of sound patterns makes it so that the CPU is very bad at reading and macroing around some stuff, and it tends to just get walled by some very unexpected things, like Sanai's lasers from her C3. But like, no, Hisami's lasers do not really do that until you send them in absolutely overwhelming amounts. Okay, Tronen is actually still on NN pace and actually progressed further into the fight than Serus has. We're on the penultimate now, and this is basically a screaming spell. You're not killing this, no shot, but you need to just pray that Zamu doesn't do anything while you're doing this massive streaming. Because if you get walled off, there's nothing you can do about it. Good dodging. Yeah, good luck restreaming this as well. You're not going to. Alright, Tronen is NN into the final.
Serus is having way more difficulty in penultimate.
Yeah, this is what you expect to happen.
Yeah.
Ah, C3. Okay, good. Okay, here's the final. It is a mess. Okay, yep, there you go. There goes the LNN. This pattern would be difficult even without all this extra shit happening on screen.
Oh wow.
Serus, game over. Nice try, but that's just Isami, alright.
Why you see so low?
Okay. Well, looks like Tronen is going to be able to finish this run off at least. Alright. 3 miss.
Well, at least there was one Hisami clear.
1 clear. Well, GG on the LMB and definitely GG on the LNNs on Zamu. Good job to all the players, really. They've put on quite the showing for this game.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Alright, that's everything for UDoALG for this year. So... Any thoughts?
Reimu was mean. Reimu was mean, but very well done by all the players today. It was very impressive to see both MegaTronen and Serus get the LNN plus bonus. And yeah.
Okay, there we go. Here's the final results. Tronen and Serus in tight first for getting Zamu LNN with our challenge bonus, and then KDshi in third for getting a 1 miss of Zamu without the challenge bonus. Well done to everyone, really. UDoALG is not a very consistent game. The fact that we have players who are able to consistently LNN Zamu is already quite impressive in and of itself, but as you just saw from the final run, the upper limit of UDoALG is far above that. So, good job to both of you, Tronen and Serus. Any thoughts?
Oh, even TWC, I'm cut off. Oh!
Ah!
Isami is really hard.
Yes, we saw.
And especially, like, it's so RNG. Like, in beginning of my final, Simon just decided, you know what, I will just send a fuck ton of stuff from out of nowhere and make the final impossible.
Serus got stuck on the non-spell for a really long time because Zamu just kept C2ing as well. Yeah.
Also Suika did two manual C4s.
Tronen died to Suika.
I mean, it happens.
Yeah.
Like, Hisami against Suika is not easy at all.
It is not. Well, yeah, both of you getting the Zamu LNN is really impressive, honestly. Like, I know that Tronen is getting, like, daily LNNs and stuff, but, like, it is not consistent still, even with that. But Hisami is just on a level above that, so maybe we'll need to consider giving Hisami, like, I don't know, 200 points next year or something.
At least.
1000.
I mean,
I'm a little sad that
Before-
my first attempt didn't go well. Like, that was the one miss with the really good cards for Zanmu.
Yeah.
But at least the second attempt was kind of hype for that. So, I'm fine with that.
like none of my practice runs actually LNN'd before this, outside of me just doing
Ooh.
a stage 6 practice and then going to TWC, first try LNN.
Tron, I don't know if you already saw this, but like before the match I did Hisami 1-1. It was one miss with a really easy final, but I whiffed it.
Oh,
Oh.
dang.
That's,
Well,
that's unfortunate.
If you guys are able to get that level of play, then perhaps Hisami LNN might be not too far in the future. But yeah, that's UDoALG Survival. Give it a shot if you're interested, because there are many interesting shot types that are not Hisami and not as painful. Let's go and talk about the upcoming matches now. So next week, starting off, next week starting off, we have KDshi Lunatic Survival right off the bat, another insane category. With Sakuya B and Marissa A being ridiculously difficult. UDoALG for Team Aya, XCF for Team Hatate, and KP Nyan for Team Momiji. KP Nyan is an all-shot LNN player for all of the main games that are tracked, and then XCF has the Sakuya B LNN now, I do believe. Meanwhile, UDoALG has Marissa A LNN, I believe. So these are all three insanely strong players. Really looking forward to what they have to pull off this year. KDshi is brutal, so anything can happen. But Drift, what happened? Forgot to reload the match card, I see. Drift!
We're doing DDC twice. That's what
It's
we're doing.
fine, they're trying their best. Alright, our
Doubling
next match
loophole.
after that is... Okay, yeah, here we go.
Ah.
No, that's the wrong background! No, what's happening? Shrift!
Here we go.
Okay, here we go. Alright, UFO Lunatic scoring between IDTN and Sammy. Sammy has been playing for a very long time. They've also applied to TFC for quite a few years now, so this is the first year that they finally get in, so looking forward to their play. UFO Lunatic scoring is always hype. It's a very complex, very route-heavy scoring system, filled with a lot of difficult grazers, filled with a lot of difficult summons, UFO kills, everything. And to top it off, of course, the Byakuran fight at the end. That isn't really necessary to get all the score, but it's just a hype moment for TWC regardless. So you do not want to miss this. UFO on Sunday. And that's not all for UFO scoring on the take either, because, well, we're gonna need to wait a little bit, but yeah. UFO Extra will also be on the same day afterwards.
Any moment.
Any moment now.
Any moment
There
now.
we go.
There it is.
Yep. So Lorenzo and Nyamu. They are very, very good at this extra stage. Now, this is the first year that we have this category, so you really don't want to miss it, but this is just more UFO scoring. It's going to look different than the main game just because of the fact that it's an extra stage. But yeah, there are definitely some very interesting things that they're going to be doing on the stage section. I see there are many Lorenzo supporters in chat. Yeah, these are two very good players at this category, so I am expecting a close match. Alright, well, Tronen, Serus, anything you want to say?
Looking forward to UFO.
I mean,
Well, UDoALG.
just about the match that you've just had, UDoALG.
Oh. I mean,
I mean, yeah.
what a
Late
fun match.
UG.
Oh wait, sorry, one more thing.
Oh,
Sorry,
yeah,
I
we
forgot
got
one more
more.
thing. Right, I forgot. Right, because next week, next Sunday is going to be a tight schedule. We're going to have 3 matches in one day. TD Lunatic Survival to round it off. Mineri, Piero, and Omo Chabako. TD Lunatic has gotten an LNN every year so far. We had 2 last year. let's see if these players will be able to keep the streak going.
Isn't it amazing? We got a single day with 3 runs where Kogasa can screw our players.
Yeah, that's
That is
correct.
so true.
So true.
Well, I guess Kogasa fans will be happy at least.
But Kurgas is not really that much a threat in TD.
Not really, but well, anything can happen. Anything can happen. All right, that is all the matches we have next week. So, any last okay. Our last slide. Thank you for watching. If you're interested in helping us out, the English crew signups will continue to stay open throughout the event. We are always going to need more help with people highlighting clips on each stream, with managing our social media, with just more people to help with the streams on both World Feed and English commentary. So if you are willing to help, then please do feel free to join. We will help you out through the process as much as possible. Especially with all the tech-related stuff on the stream side of things. And of course, if you do get to see kind of a little bit behind the scenes of what's happening. And we are on Blue Sky now, so follow our Blue Sky account for announcements. And TWC is brought to you by this channel, Touhou Replay Showcase, which will have watch parties on Saturday and Sundays. Maybe not today.
Maybe today.
Maybe. Depends. I don't know.
We will see.
We'll see. Alright. Yeah, again, any last comments on your match, Tronen and Serus?
We didn't
Maybe
get
body
to
match.
B, I'm sad.
Oh. We should have PvP before
Well,
the match.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose now is just good a time to shout out SNE. There is a UDoALG Netplay server. If somebody can link that in chat for me. I don't have Twitch chat open right now, sorry. But yeah, PvP is definitely the most active part of UDoALG. Touhou 19 is versus games, so the PvP aspect is very fun. The UDoALG server has a lot of people actively playing PvP even nowadays, and I believe that, yeah, so first of all, the net play built into the game is not the greatest for international play, but there is a patch called Juen Owen that you can find in the netplay server that will massively improve the net play. It's basically the equivalent of Adonis for UDoALG. And aside from that, if you're not a fan of how you saw the game balance look like, because there are some really awful matchups even in PvP, there is the balance patch that's hosted on THCrab that I believe these players will sometimes play with as well. So if you're interested at all in making the most out of UDoALG and really having a very different experience than the story mode, then feel free to check that out.
Big recommendation for the balance patch. It makes a lot of the matchups actually fun.
Alright, yeah, anything from you two, Cake and Golden?
Or sleepy.
Well,
I've been
you've
up
had a
since
long day of
2 a.m.
commentating, I'm sure.
It's been since 2 a.m. It's 7.
Oh. Well, I hope you can get some nice. Hope you can get some rest after this. And well, I suppose we might see you later. Maybe not. I don't know. But for TWC, definitely see you next week. And I am done commentating this year, so me and Golden will see you next year.
See y'all. Thanks for everything.
Bye.
And
Bye.
and back to fixing the fires at the back.